Greetings, everyone. I'm Catherine of Sky, and this video is just about my current status and about recording. And I'm sorry I haven't done anything recently, but I want to tell you about my current state of health. So anyway, when I got back from the hospital, I was pretty sure things were improving. Things were going pretty well. I amused myself by kind of trying to get back into things, especially working on Timberborn, working with the new content. It was so exciting. I was like, oh yeah. So I did some test games. As you probably saw, I did a new map. Actually, I did like 3 new maps. I haven't released all of them yet. I just released one of them because I'm not done with the others. But I was working pretty well. I thought things were going pretty good. I hadn't created any content for a while because, like I mentioned in the last video I did about getting out of the hospital, I'm exhausted. Like I have been exhausted, and that has been really hard to shake. I'm a person who just does stuff, and feeling like you're just can't move off the couch. It's weird and it's scary and horrible. And it's not the way I want to be, because I'm a person that does things, you know. I've made a YouTube channel. I've moved myself to Sweden. I'm a doer. I'm a maker. And so this state of health that I'm in right now is really weird. So I would like to tell you about my current weird state of things. So I made the first Timberborn episode, and that was pretty difficult. At the end of one episode, I was out of breath. I was literally, and that's not normal for me. As Matthias will tell you, and he is a beast. He's not even a pro YouTuber, and he's a beast. We can record for 15 hours in a row, and I'm not out of breath. It's just fine. So doing a 1-hour episode and being out of breath was weird. I also got kind of this weird headache thing, but I didn't think really much of it other than, okay, it was exhausting. This is the one activity a day I can do kind of thing. It took a while to kind of gather energy to do the other episodes that I did in Timberborn. And I really pushed myself because I remember that recording session. I did one episode and I got this massive, horrible feeling. I call it thick mud brain. It's very bad. What it feels like is this horrendous, very, very, very painful headache on top of my migraines, mind you. So it's another headache, and it is just horrible. And I call it thick mud brain because it just feels like there's mud in between all the folds of your brain. You can't even think. It's just like your thinking feels really slow and horrible. And also I had this brain fog. I also had really terrible short-term memory loss. I remember there was one day, it was the day my therapist came over. And they were asking me about my memory. And I said, well, I watched about 6 YouTube videos this morning, short ones, 10, 20 minutes. On topics I was interested in, not just random crap. It was like I was in a mood like, oh, this is not good enough. This is not interesting enough. I want to watch something I really want to watch. And I could tell her what 2 of those videos were about for 10 seconds. I couldn't remember anything else. I feel sorry for poor Matthias. I remember there were a couple of days where he came over and we were watching House, the medical drama. And I asked him questions, and I'm sure he thought I was just like, what is wrong with her? Because they were like simple, like, what happened to that patient? And, oh boy, isn't this a long episode? And he's like, this episode just started. Oh, whoops. What did the other guy die of? Whoops. So poor Matthias had to put up with like this terrible memory thing. And anyway, my therapist came over. And, before I tell you about the therapist, one thing that I need to tell you is because of my migraines and the pain state that I am in, like 24/7, it's important to have some mitigation. And the only thing that I've found that mitigates it, I do have a couple of pain pills, but they don't do too much. They do a little bit of pain mitigation, so that's good. But the main form of pain mitigation is recording and playing games. So yes, my work is actually therapeutic in that way. But the way it works is I have to overload my brain, literally. Like playing Factorio with crazy ass mods is not enough. I have to record and play and try to be humorous and watch the time and be a YouTuber, which, a lot of people think it's simple. It's not. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of effort and a lot of, energy as well. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm Catherine, I'm so sad today. You got to have like positive attitude and stuff. And so that takes some amount of projecting that positive attitude, which is my default state, but still. Anyway, so for me, I have to literally overload my brain in order for the pain receptors to be silenced somewhat, right? That's why I work a lot because it helps with pain. So yeah, it's definitely an overload. Anyway, my therapist came over and I talked about this weird, thick mud brain thing. And they said there's a name for that. It's called brain fatigue. I was like, really? Wow. I was surprised at being believed. Because in America, the doctors, they think you're like crazy or faking or something. They never believe you in America. I don't know why. But here they believe you. And because, and obviously they've seen this before. They said that it's very common with stroke. And I was kind of scared because I'd had it for a couple of days by then. And I said, well, how do I get rid of it? And I said sleep didn't help because normally, when you have something bad happen to you or like normal people when they get a headache, sleep will cure that. That'll fix it. But it had been a couple of days and I was like, how do I get out of this? And they said, well, just take it easy. You have to take it easy. You cannot overload your brain. I said, but I want to work. I want to do things. I need to do things, especially need is important. And they said, well, you really just got to take it easy. So, for example, my normal day is, if I'm playing a game on the computer, I'll also listen to YouTube in the background. I think a lot of people do that. But for me, it also helps with the pain situation, if I'm not recording. But they said, no, do one activity at a time. Either play the game or watch YouTube. And I've been following their instructions and trying not to, because at first I was like really gung-ho. I'm like, I'll push it. It'll be fine. I'll push my limits, find the limits, see where they are. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. You can do that. But over the past week, it hasn't really gotten better. Today was slightly better, but for the entire week, fully 7 days, it didn't get better. And in fact, it got worse. I even had a situation where I blacked out, and that's terrifying. And I know that I did because I go for these daily walks, and I know it's silly, but there's a bubble tea shop in town here, and I've been getting bubble tea, every now and again because it has healing properties for my leg. It was funny because I went there one day and I got the bubble tea, and the next day my leg was better. I didn't have to think about like moving it upward because I feel like one of these fancy horses doing a dressage competition, like just really trotting, very, very lifting your leg high. That's how I have to work with my left leg because it wants to drag because it still has this kind of like paralysis thing going on. And so one day after I had bubble tea, I just was like, let's just, I didn't have to think about moving it. It was like working normally. I was like, wow. It didn't last long, but it was like, I'm now convinced of the healing properties of bubble tea. I'm joking, by the way, just, it's not medical advice. Bubble tea is tasty, but it probably doesn't have healing properties. And And anyway, yeah, if you do live in Södertälje, go support that business. It's called Bros Tea. It's great. They're really nice people there. Anyway, I'm not sponsored. I'm just saying it's a cool place. Aha. I forgot I bought one just for the video. It's very tasty. I get peach milk tea with strawberry pop balls. They're very tasty. And less sugar, so it's nice and like the pop balls are tart. But anyway, good place. And it's very good. Anyway, good place, not sponsored, but I just want to like talk about one of my local businesses in case anybody's here in Södertälje. Anyway, so I wanted to get out before a certain time, which was like 4 o'clock, which we say 16 here. So on my, I was playing WoW, and on the in-game timer, it was 15:55. And I'm like, okay, let's get out. And I logged off my character because I really wanted to get out early in the day because I had gone out really late the last time and they ran out of tea. So that wasn't great. But it was like closing time because they close at 19. So anyway, 15:55. And then I look at the computer and I'm like, 17:15. And I'm like, what? And I sent Matthias a message just to make sure, like, is my computer clock correct? Is Discord correct? How? So apparently I blacked out for an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. I have no idea what happened. I guess, I don't know what happened. I was still sitting on the sofa. So maybe I just paused. Like maybe my brain just paused. I don't know. But it's terrifying. And I've had some other issues like with spelling. When the therapist came over, I said, oh no, I don't have any cognitive problems. I'm good. But the other day I wanted to tell, we were talking about flight. And I thought, how do I spell flight? F-L-Y-T-E? F-L-I-T-E? And I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. It took me like 5 minutes. So that's scary. And honestly, it's like a smart person's nightmare. like the idea that you have a brain injury, because that's effectively what it is. I've had multiple strokes. They didn't tell me how many, but I've had many. One of them was about 1 centimeter in diameter, which is humongous. If you think about how small a blood cell is, it's literally microscopic, and they found a 1 centimeter clot. It's terrifying. And it feels, I don't know, like part of you is really damaged in a way that's not fixable, you know? Like you can't repair a broken brain. It's not possible. I mean, it can sort of repair itself, but there's nothing like, you can't, like putting your arm in a cast after you break your arm. You can't do things like that to your brain. There just isn't a way that we know of. So anyway, what I've been advised to do by the occupational therapist, she's like the neurotherapist person. I have several therapists, which is kind of interesting. I've got the occupational therapist. I've got the physical therapist. There's also a speech therapist. Since I've been having some trouble swallowing on occasion, not often, but on occasion, they said it's important to talk to them. And then there are a couple of other people I'm also visiting with. But the therapy, one appointment is this week, one appointment's next week. But it's scary. And I asked the occupational therapist, what can I do? Like when she left last time, and she says, just got to take it easy. You got to really take it easy. Now I have had content creation on my mind 24/7. It's in my dreams. And I am quite aware that I am not giving you the content. And I really want to, because I want to play games. I like playing games. I have got some amazing games coming up. Also, one of the things, I have a sponsored video series coming up. It's going to be three videos that I'm going to make with Matthias. And that's going to be good for me because he can help me. You know, if I'm brain breaky, then he can sort of like take over some of the conversation. You know, he's hilarious. I'll just tell him to talk more. But yeah, I am very lucky to be sponsored by the devs for that, and I hope you will support me by checking out at least the first video, and hopefully all three. Hopefully it's interesting. It's about routing trains. So, hey, I got like my secret man, my train engineer to help me with this. It's cool. Yeah, if you're not aware, my boyfriend is a train engineer, like in real life. So it's a very on topic, on brand game to play. So I'm excited about that. They just released a DLC, so I'm really looking forward to checking that out. And so he's going to be able to help me with that. I also want to continue the Timberborn series, and I want to continue the Factorio series. A few people have asked me, so I'm just making it official. I want to continue those series, and they will continue. We also have some really other cool games coming up. There's one that by the maker of Sweet Transit, Ernestus. He was also a dev in Factorio. He made Sweet Transit, and there is a new game that I can't tell you about because the embargo has not passed, but I will do a reaction video. And things like reaction videos, or when I'm on camera like this, IRL videos, are a lot more doable for me. They're not as brain breaky. So if you see this kind of content, just know that it's less taxing for me to make this kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. I can't promise a regular schedule with anything other than I'm just going to do the best that I can. And I really thank everyone for their support, especially my patrons who have just been totally, just with me the whole time. And it really means a lot to me that you're there. And I want you to know that I'm here and I haven't died yet. I'm on the road to getting better. It's a bumpy road. It's a road with mountains on it, for God's sake. Why life? Why? Why isn't it easy? When I got back from the hospital initially, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, who cares? Let's just schedule a stroke every day. It's fine. Nobody cares. It doesn't affect me. And then I got this thick mud brain or brain fatigue. I feel like they shouldn't call it brain fatigue. That makes it sound so innocuous. All I can think is like brain in fatigues, fighting a war, because it is quite dramatic, and it makes my head hurt a lot. It's almost intolerable. It's that bad of a pain. It's really bad. But yeah, thick mud brain is not good, and I need to avoid getting that. I will try to do content. I might try really short episodes. Like back in the day, we used to do 20-minute episodes. I don't know if those would be satisfying to watch, though. So I'll have to think about it. Maybe you can tell me what you think in the comments, or send me a message on Discord. If you would be happy with short episodes, or some people have suggested to me like, oh, if you do a 45-minute episode, just have a break in the middle. And I tell them, well, my short-term memory being what it is, I will forget what the heck I did after I come back. So I feel like that would be unprofessional. But anyway, I will try to make content when I can. Thank you so much for being here for me. I appreciate it. Kitties say meow meow. And thank you so very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you next time.